Alright lads and lasses, welcome along. Tuppence Tuesday. So we've got a new format for Tuppence Tuesday. Needs to be done. We need to look a lot more at the theory of what it is we're doing and really why we want to do Power BI, what it brings to a business. But this is way more than just Power BI, isn't it? Really, the reality of this is, what are we doing it for? What's the point? And really what it comes down to is a data culture. But one of the things people say to me is, wait, what's a data culture, Ross? Keep saying data culture this, data culture that. What's it actually going to do for us? What's the point? So let's have a Dixie and let's see what's going on with it. So what is it? Why do we want to do it? And who on earth has to do anything with it? Is it just me? Is it me management? Is it like Steve down the road? Is it Jeff? Who? Right? So what's the point? What's it all about? The key message about a data culture, right, and the bit you really do have to understand is this, right? This simple definition. The principle established in the process of social practice in both public and private sectors, which requires all staff and decision makers, to focus on the information conveyed by the existing data and make decisions and changes according to that. The reality is, right, as a person, so me, right, I've been doing this 15 plus years, right? I have some very definite ideas, right? And it might be a case saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, right? And people might find it difficult to get me to change my mind. And I'm sure if I speak to some people I know, they'd go, oh, that Ross, man, he's a proper pain in the neck, man. You didn't want to deal with him, like, right? But the main thing that you do with this is that I might come and say, I've got these ideas about what we're going to do. Unless I can back that up with evidence based on data, right, and then validate and keep proving and see that come to fruition, right, we shouldn't be doing it, right? The idea that your boss up on high should be listened to because of what they know or who they are, right, is out the window in a good data culture. Now, that is one of the most difficult concepts for a lot of people to really get their heads around, and is one of the areas that we see as the most difficult for companies when they are transitioning into a more data-centric way of working. So why on earth would I want to do it? Okay, why? The main thing is really, it's about managing your business more effectively. So everyone wants more data now, right? You can't go anywhere without being confronted with metrics and algorithms and this and that. Yeah, like I look at me Instagram posts and it'll tell me how many people have looked at them, or I look at me LinkedIn posts and tell me how many people have read them, or I look at this and we're kind of getting used to seeing that in our lives now. We expect that interaction. With our businesses and with that, we've got a lot of data and we want to be able to do something similar with it. Okay? Now, Microsoft have kind of come up with this three-wave view. I'm not fully wed to it. I'm not convinced, right? And it's because, to me, wave 1 and 2 are kind of interchangeable, right? And that doesn't help anybody, right? So wave 1 is about IT driven, right? And what they're doing really is they're talking about enterprise level analytics, right? And this is where it becomes interchangeable. Wave 1 of your enterprise analytics was like SQL Services Report Server, right? SSRS as it was, right? Or SSAS as well, SQL Server Analysis Services. High cost, right? You would get a couple of IT people involved. You might get really lucky and have a team of 4 or 5, but heady days, them, like I tell you, it's like the 80s when we could burn money, right? You might have that, right? But there's a cost to that. And I mean, I've heard figures banded around of like $1,000 to change a column, right? And I'll be honest, I'm not going to argue with them. They come from, it was like Gartner or Forrester. It was one of those that did a survey on it, and I can get where they're coming from. I understand it. So you can see it's a high cost to change. You're very static in what gets driven. Right? It gives you a very limited view as well, because typically, because of the cost, you might only point it at one, maybe two systems that your business uses. So you've got a high cost to do any changes with it. So it's not agile, and it's quite limited. Right? Suddenly, the world changed. Right? The likes of Tableau and Click came on the market. Right? And the world really did change. And the reality is, Microsoft had to have gone back and realised that Wave 1, where all their eggs was at, wasn't really working for them. Right? Wave 2, the traditional kind of support function that Microsoft had of Excel and Access, was kind of picking up an awful lot of the business. And now suddenly the enterprise stuff was difficult to sell because you had Tableau and Click on the market. So Microsoft kind of panicked a little bit and rethought what they did, and that's why they've now come to this Wave 3, and that's why it's a convenient one. It fits their model, but I understand where they're coming from. The point being, right, Wave 3 where we're up to now, right, and to be fair, Tableau's picked up a lot, Click's picked up a lot now, and Power BI, so all three are pretty much able to do Wave 3. Wave 3 is about everybody has access to data. Yeah, you're not just using Wave 2 where you've just got some analysts who can do stuff, because Tableau licenses were expensive. Click even was expensive. And it was a case of saying, well, I can't give everyone access to it, so I'll give a few people access to do the stuff, and then everyone else can view it. Right? And again, there was cost, and getting that more views, more data was still difficult. Wave 3 is about now saying, let's give everybody in the business access to all the data. All data must go into the analysis system somehow. And that's a very different way of working, because once you start to say everything is fair game, everything is the way we want it to be, right? You can't hide your things. You can't suddenly have like a tower, here's my silo, this is my data, you have to come to me if you want access to it. Right? Which, if we all, hand on heart, we probably know some people who've been like that, and, hand on heart, it might have been us at some point who were a bit like, well, it's my stuff. You come through me to get my stuff. Wave 3 is about where the silos naturally start to fall down. Right? And that is suddenly where you have a business that supports itself. So because colleagues are working together based on information and data, right, that data that's just there, people start to make information out of it. So, information is something that's derived from data. Yeah, does that make sense? Data is data. Like it's raw ones and zeros, or it's raw sales figures. Until you start to collate that together and look for what joins those items together, where are the correlations? And are those correlations causal, which is the most important thing? Because correlation and causation are not the same. Okay, so Wave 3 is giving everybody access to do that. So everyone is now looking for things. Everyone is testing their own hypotheses, their views, their theories, what's happening. Okay, and it can sound uncluttered, cluttered, scary place to be, but it's not. It's a really comfortable place for a lot of businesses to do really well and to start to really derive great benefit. So that's what it is. So you've guessed it now, haven't you, really? Who's involved? Everyone, right? All your internal teams need to be involved, right? Your customers potentially as well, right? In theory, and this is one of the things you need to be thinking through as well, even your external suppliers. So, your internal, your external might be not just your customers. It might be your suppliers, your vendors, all those. You might actually get them more involved in what's going on. And we are seeing that far more now. So companies are investing and putting their own metrics, their measures out there at some level. a customer portal. That customer can go in and interact and see how many sales, how much are they buying from you? What are they doing? What's going on? Okay? You've got that happening more and more. That can be looked at from a vendor perspective as well. Would vendors like to know what's going on? How many orders we made? What's our average payment rates to you? Those kind of things. And as you become a more open, more transparent organization, that's where the benefit really starts to come. Because with openness and transparency comes the other T word. And dare I say it, but data culture is about establishing and fostering trust. So now you know what a data culture is. The core benefit that we want from a data culture is that trust. And that trust internally is key. Internal trust and external trust is everything to a business these days. We keep seeing it in the metrics that we're being asked to produce. How likely are customers to recommend us? Net promoter scores, things like that. That's about trust as much as anything. If a customer can't trust you, right, and your staff don't trust you, is that really what you want in your business? A good data culture will build that culture of trust and empathy internally to your business. And then from there, that will move on to present itself out to your customer base. So come back next week, right, and we'll carry on with this data culture. We'll start to look a little bit deeper into how we actually do start to implement a data culture, what we need to go into to do that, and how we can start to piece together the elements and the components that we need to grow and expand our data awareness within our business. And most importantly, how we can then leverage that to increase, really the key thing, isn't it? The bottom line. That's what it's all about, isn't it? It's pointless doing this if it's not going to help the bottom line. And the reality is, a good data culture will help your bottom line. So I hope you stick with us, right? Anything you don't like about the format, let me know. Obviously, it's still evolving this, week 1 of season 2. Tell me what you think we should be doing. Head on over to geordieintelligence.co.uk. Become a member. There's going to be a separate members area, members page, really specifically dealing with this week by week as we go in, where you can get access to these decks as well. Right? And really, tell us what's going on. Where's your mind at? Does it make sense? Are you just going, oh man, speak a load of rubbish, ye like. For now though, take care and hope you stick with us. Come back on Friday, and if not, we'll see you next week.